Good day, and thank you for joining us on Keeping Hope Learning Optimal Endurance. My name is Marie Wolf, and I'll be the host for today's show. I thank you for joining us today as we express ourselves and what we think Mother's Day means to us. The first person in our panel that I will be introducing is Miss Muriel Clark. And Muriel, please tell the audience, what is your definition of Mother's Day and what does it mean to you?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Muriel Clark. I am a wife for going on 2.5 years now, a mother to a 22-month-old, and I've got one on the way. What Mother's Day means to me, Mother's Day is a day to celebrate the woman who has given birth to you. Not only is that, the woman who has raised you does not necessarily mean a person that has given birth to you, but the mother or the woman that you consider a mother, a provider, a caretaker of you, the one who's loved you and poured themselves into you. And we celebrate those mothers. We celebrate those women who has done that for those in their lives. You know, it could be any type of motherly figure. It could be a spiritual mother, you know, it could be a adoptive parent, it could be an aunt, it could be anyone that has poured into the life of another human being. And that day is a day to celebrate that woman. Not everyone who are mothers actually assume that role, you know, so just because some people are, have given birth doesn't necessarily they have actually been a mother to others. So that is my opinion of what Mother's Day is all about.
Wonderful. And I agree with you 300%. Mother's Day is definitely a day that, you know, so many people have different perspectives, different meanings, and, you know, different ideas, but you definitely nailed it on the head. And I agree with you on that 300%. The next panel speaker that will be giving their opinion of what their definition of Mother's Day is and what it means to them is Miss Kiera Clark.
Hi, my name's Kiera. I'm a mom to a 2-year-old, another baby on the way. Mother's Day to me is a day where the mom isn't just celebrated, but we celebrate our children as well, because we wouldn't be we wouldn't be moms without our kids. So, you know, for Mother's Day, I like to really take that day and, you know, spend that time with my son, you know, kind of like bond with my son, because I feel like that's really the beauty of, you know, Mother's Day, just, you know, being a mom in general. Not even just like, you know, as Muriel was saying, not even just like actually giving birth, but just being around your family, or, you know, whoever you are a mother to, and just kind of being a mom is just, you know, just what Mother's Day is. And that's just how I plan on spending my day, just spending the day with my son and seeing my mom, you know, seeing my family members and appreciating them for everything that they've done for me.
Yeah. Wow, and that's beautiful. You know, I will say this, just, you know, watching you grow from a little girl to the beautiful woman that you are, you know, you are a phenomenal mom. A lot of times young moms don't get the credit because they're younger, you know, but the responsibility, as it states, goes in the word mother. And you, I will say, you give your whole life to your children. You focus on your children. You know, you have also done that with, you know, your niece and nephews, you know, so again, like Mira was saying, it doesn't mean that you have to have biological children to be a mom. It's just that love, that attention, that affection that's provided from the heart that helps and guides, you know, the children that we have, as well as the children within our next generation. So thank you so much for that. The next panel speaker that we will be introducing is Ms. Tamitha Johnson.
Hi, my name is Tamitha Johnson, and Mother's Day to me means the day that we honor our moms for all the sacrifices they give all throughout the year. As a mother, we put ourselves, and our moms have put themselves on the back burner to care for our needs on all levels: emotional needs, physical needs, spiritual needs. They're the ones who are praying for us on the front lines more than anyone else. They're the ones that are taking care of us in every aspect. So mothers pour into their children. And so it's a day just to honor that and celebrate that. It's a day of spending time with your mom, not just buying her a material gift, because material gifts can be purchased at any time. It's a day of spending that time with her and dedicating that love and attention, because that's what moms crave. They want that that love and that attention from their children. So That is a day that we just dedicate to them and honor them.
I
So
agree.
that's my definition of what Mother's Day is.
And you also are a phenomenal mom. That's the thing. This panel of women, you know, they are the closest women that I have in my life, other than my mom. And these ladies that are here are very special to me. And that's why I asked them to come on today, because their perspectives and their honesty in terms of any of the settings that they've ever been put in by me. Unfortunately, I'm sorry if I put you in some crazy settings, but they've always been very honest. And I think those things are important, especially when talking about Mother's Day, because it's something that is very special to those who are fortunate to still have their moms and those that unfortunately have lost their moms. So this is a beautiful, a perspective from these ladies. So I hope you enjoy what they're stating. Stephanie Josiah, how are you today, dear?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Can you tell our audience exactly what you think your definition of Mother's Day is and what it means to you?
Mother's Day for me is that wonderful reminder that comes once a year that we should be doing these kinds of things for our mom or the mother figures in our lives on a more regular basis. So yes, it is lovely to give the cards. It's lovely to give the flowers and the chocolates and all that stuff. But mostly it's just time to appreciate. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, I didn't introduce myself. Yes, as you said, my name is Stephanie Josiah. I am a wife and mother of 4 kids, 3 of them becoming teenagers. So please, prayers, send prayers in lieu of flowers.
Stephanie is also a published author, and she has some of the most phenomenal books that talk about, motherhood and the things that we as women also, go through within society. So Stephanie, thanks again. And ladies, please feel free to chime in at any time for our next question. And so the next question is like, what has been the most memorable experience that you've had in being a mom? How about you, Ms. Clark?
Okay, well, again, I'm an unseasoned mother, and everything is so brand new to me. And a little bit of background about me. I had the unfortunate experience of losing my mom at the age of, well, she was sick when I was 14 and passed immediately after I turned 15, and I just didn't have, those years with her, and in my opinion, where I needed her most. So I'll be learning about being a mother of myself, So like everything is brand new, and there's so many things that is just awesome to me. A lot of times people tell you mother's the greatest blessing and this and that and the third, and you hear it until you have a child for yourself, and then everything becomes memorable, especially the New Year's, everything, just the way my little girl, her name's Ariel, the way she's just learning so quickly, her first everything to me is memorable. The hugs, the cuddles, my goodness, I guess because she's only 22 months old, I guess the most memorable experience would be the day that changed my life was taking her home, giving birth and taking her home. So right now, that's again, everything is memorable. Everything, is spectacular to me. Everything is brand new to me. But I guess right now, the first thing that sticks out in my mind is just bringing her home and thinking, wow, she belongs to me. And I got to keep her alive for the rest of her life now. Like, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for this other human being. So yeah, I guess right now that's my answer right now to that question.
And I agree. And that's the thing, that when you first have them and you bring them home, that's, you think about the, just how they're going to act, one, and, the teenage stages. And then, even when they turn 18, like a lot of people don't understand. And you hear these statements from some moms where they say, okay, when you're 18, my job is done. As a mom, it doesn't matter how old your children are. Your job will never be done. And you should never feel that, your
Yep.
job is going to be done. So I
Mhm.
definitely agree with you 300% on that. Miss Kiara Clark, can you also let us know what you feel has been the most memorable experience you've had in being a mom? You're a young mom, you're also a new mom, and you're a phenomenal mom. So please give us your perspective.
So the most memorable thing to me was definitely the moment I had my son. It was just like the feelings, like the rush of feelings. You feel very overwhelmed. You feel like you have to get it right, and you're kind of hard on yourself. But at the same time, because I had so many like people around me to just kind of like talk to, like I could talk to my mom, I could talk to my grandma, I could talk to Muriel. It made me feel closer to my family. It made me feel closer to, just simply being a woman and, part of motherhood, just to be able to talk to them. And it made me feel comfortable and, more bonded to my mom as well. Just being able to talk to her and relate, what she's done with me and, her memories of me growing up to my son. And the things that he does, just kind of like looking at him and reflecting on myself, or just reflecting on those little bits and those experiences that I had. It just, it's all really memorable because it's such a powerful experience to be a mom, in my opinion. It really
Yes.
is. Because you're just like, you're raising your child and you're like taking these steps down memory lane, and you're like, oh my gosh, like he acts like me, or he acts like his dad, or he acts like grandma. You see a little bit of everybody's face in your child. You see a little bit of everybody's personality in your child. And it's so beautiful because you also have to accept the fact that they are their own little soul, and they are they have their own personality. And just watching that grow and nourishing what they're becoming is beautiful, and it's memorable because they're establishing their own personality, you know?
I agree. And let me tell you something, if you haven't heard it 1,000 times already, your mother is very proud of you, young lady.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. Now, Tammy, tell us your perspective, my dear.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Muriel and Kiara. To give you a little backdrop, I was blessed very late in life with my daughter. I didn't think that I was going to be able to have children, and for God to bless me with her, every single moment I cherish. Um, my daughter's a little older; she's 5. So those first moments, as Muriel said, the first time she walks, the first time she spoke. Now when she's coming in and she's giving me hugs and she says, "Mommy, I want you to hold me forever." Those are things that you just cherish, and you just cherish every moment with her. Watching her grow, watching her develop her own personality, watching her discover the world for herself. She's getting to the point now where she doesn't want to be a baby anymore. She wants to be that big girl, and just watching her develop her own personality, her own strength, and her own her own personality and her own independence, where mommy, I don't need you to do this for me, and just watching her do those things. So it's everything. Like I said, I consistently thank God for her, because I didn't think I was going to be able to have kids, and just to cherish every single moment as it comes. I've had people say, oh, wait till she gets to this age. And I'm like, I don't want to wait till she gets that age. I just want to enjoy where she is right now. Let me enjoy every single moment that I have. And when she gets to that point, I'll enjoy that. But I don't want to rush it. If anything, I want to slow it down. But I just want to enjoy where she is right now, and just, and grab onto it and hold on to every moment. So you just take everything in its own time and in its own time frame is that memorable time.
I agree. And what is your perspective, Ms. Josiah?
So I have a few most memorable moments, and I believe I'll just split it up per kid. So with Calista, The best memory with her, or one of the best, was catching her praying over her little brother. And she was saying, you know, God help me to take care of him. I'm always going to look after you. And that touched me. My second child, Ariana, she was about to go in for surgery to correct her legs. She had bow legs, and they were doing a pin placement. And she was given 2 teddy bears by the staff because she was so cute, so well behaved. And she saw a girl across the surgical floor who was also waiting to have surgery. And she gave one of the girls, she was like, can I go give her one of my bears? And she jumped down off of the bed. She walked over to this little girl and gave her one of her teddy bears. And I sobbed. and she came back and she was like, I think she's going to be okay now. That was adorable. Then with my twin boys, I definitely want to say the best moment was Ishmael Jr. coming home to us first, in spite of all of the odds, in spite of high-risk pregnancy and him having health issues. He came home just making it clear to the doctors, like, God has the final say. And with Nathaniel, one of the favorite moments that I have with him is almost the week after Ishmael Jr. passed away. Nathaniel started waking up in the middle of the night to come to the bed and cuddle up with me in the kind of like in the place of what his brother used to do. So those are all like those touching memories that I will cherish always.
Wow. And that's also, going back to one of your books, if you could tell the audience about one of the books that you've written that I've had the opportunity to read that's touched me from, every facet. I smiled, I cried, I wanted to just grab you and hold on to you and hug you, just everything in one within your book. Can you tell the audience about your book?
So my book is called Beautiful Ashes, and it really is a book about feeling like everything in life burned to the ground, because first you have this miracle, you have this high-risk pregnancy that everyone's going to say you probably should terminate, but the twins both make it home. So you have that side where God is like, yes, I'm going to give you a yes. And then you have the other side where God says, no, no more time. You get 3 years with this person. This person was a light. This person was not able to speak, not able to play the way that other people could. But the impact that he had on our family was massive. And so in that book, I really just broke down the different stages of where I was at. I did journal entries. I did poetry. If I was feeling horrible, I wrote, I'm feeling horrible. If we cried that day, it was a poem about us crying and just holding each other up. So the book's purpose is to just let mothers out there who are struggling to become a mom, maybe they're having infertility issues, maybe they know that they cannot have children, maybe they lost a child, whatever the case may be, to know that you're not alone in that walk, that it is normal to grieve however it is that you grieve, and that there are helpful resources out there.
I agree. And now, that brings me to another thing that you do that I find the most impressive. You have a company called Ink Babies, and with that, you also help, mothers to be able to put their feelings into words, and you help them get published, because you're a published author. If any moms are going through the loss or in pain at this, which when you go through a loss, you're always going to be in pain. But how can they reach out to you so that they can put their memories and their feelings into words and actually publish a book that will be forever memorable for them and their children?
They can just email me at srjosiah1@gmail.com. And that's the number 1, not spelled out. So srjosiah1@gmail.com. or they can call me. My cell phone is 443-629-2645. That's my cell phone. You won't get a secretary or anything. You'll get me. You will get me.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Stephanie, and helping so many others that are going through similar things that you've gone through, and they will see within your book if they get an opportunity to actually read it. Also, can you let our audience know how they can actually purchase your book, Beautiful Ashes?
No, it's available on Lulu, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, and Amazon. So you can find it online, any of those stores.
Okay, great, great. You know, I just in listening to the stories of, you know, the women that I've mentioned that are on this panel that are very close to me, it really opens my mind to many things and my perspective as well. Because, you know, when I think about, you know, what my definition of a mother means to me, everything that they stated is definitely what I feel as well. But, you know, in growing up and seeing things over the years through my family and throughout, you know, other people's families, mother is a big word. And mother, as Muriel stated, also does not just mean being a biological mom, because there are some biological moms that don't want to be moms and don't perform as mothers. But, you know, I've seen over the years that many aunties and friends and stepmoms and godmothers and girlfriends of you know, young men that they're dating, they have taken over and love children immensely as their own. And those things mean more, because mother is not just biology. There are also, you know, women that have adopted children, that have, you know, gone to orphanages and sat there for days and read books and, you know, wiped tears and, you know, kind of mentored them and guided them. So in the perspective of thinking of those things, I'm sure that those children will always remember them and see them as mom. You know, there's a word I used to always say when I was little, there's such thing as a mom and such thing as a mother. Mother may be your birth biology, but that mom is the one that digs into your heart and never lets go. So, you know, thank you all for that. And I hope the audience also understands that we're not trying to project our, you know, opinions. We're just trying to give you references if you're going through something during Mother's Day, or if you just want to hear something enlightening about how other people feel about their mothers or Mother's Day in general that may relate to how you feel as well. So thank you again for joining us today, audience. Now the other thing, you know, that we talked about earlier was you know, the memorable experiences. And my most memorable experience, again, every facet, every age, each memory, each year, you know, each time, the silly things, the funny things. You know, I have 5 kids, and 3 boys and 2 girls, and I love them all immensely. And through each facet, they've all, you know, made me happy. I'm proud of them. I thank you, God, for the blessing of giving them to me to be able to share, you know, every moment with them. So thanks again for your perspectives, ladies. Let's see. So the next question that we have is, what would you like to say to women that are looking forward to motherhood? So women like Ms. Johnson, you were stating, you know, that you know, are looking forward to it. They may not think they're able to have children. You know, what can you tell them in terms of never giving up?
Okay. First off, being a mom is one of the hardest jobs you'll ever have in life. It's all saying that, you know, it's the hardest job, but it's the most rewarding. It definitely is. But I think we also need to hold on to the fact that it's also scary, because as the other moms have said, they place this little human being in your arms and they say, take care of this little human being. You know, guide that child, raise that child, take care of that child's needs. And as Kira said, you try to do the best you can. And I think you have to look at it and go, it's okay to say, I need help. It's okay to say that I'm tired. It's okay to say that I don't know what I'm doing. I need advice. Go to those that are older, go to those that are friends and say, hey, what did you do? How did this work for you? And then once you collect all that information, then you sit down and you look at what's going to work best for you and your family. Because what works for one child isn't going to work for another child. What works for one situation isn't always going to work in another situation. For you moms who have more than one a child, you can attest better than I can, because I only have one, that what you did with one child does not necessarily mean that works with the next one. So it's just being open and saying that I don't know everything and I need help, and to be okay with it. I know for me, because I was older when I had Jalen, and I prayed for her for so long. And when God gave her to me, I was like, I need to spend every second with her. I can't allow anyone else to step in and help me with it, because how can I ask God for this child and then say, I'm tired? You know, I'm at work full time, you know, you're a full-time wife. And how dare I say I'm tired when I ask for her? So I think we need to, as moms, need to say, it's okay. It's okay to say I'm tired. It's okay to say, you know what? I need my mom, I need my girlfriend, I need my sister-in-law to come over and babysit and just give me 5 minutes to collect myself, so I can have 5 minutes of peace to be able to regain myself, so I can be the best mom I can be. Because if you're tired and you're worn down and you're not taking care of yourself, then you're not capable of being the best mom you can be. So I think that's what I would tell people that are new moms, that are thinking about being moms, is that it's a lot of work, and it's okay to say that you need help. It doesn't make you a bad mom, because that's what I thought. I was like, if I ask for help, that means I can't do this on my own. That makes me a bad mom. It doesn't. It just means that you're recognizing that you're human and we all have weaknesses and we all need help. And it's okay to ask for that help when you need it.
I agree. And I'll tell you this, you know, you are, as many people may not know, and mostly everyone on the panel knows this, you are the godmother to almost all of my children. And I remember when I had my first son, it was a tumultuous situation. You know, the hospital botched things. You know, I was out for 3 days. You know, we almost lost him. And literally he had to stay in the hospital a month before I was able to bring him home. And it was the scariest time. I was young. I was a young mom. I don't mind people knowing that, because I'm proud of it. You know, I was a young mom. I was 18 years old when I had my first son. And I was, you know, I was young and I was excited. I knew I was going to be this awesome mom. And for something to happen in the hospital that was outside of my hands, it really took me for a loop. And I remember the days when my son came home and I was tired and I was crying and I didn't know what to do. And, you know, you were there. So, sorry, we get tired, but don't be afraid to ask for help. You can't be afraid to ask for help. You know, there were days where I'd be home and I'd hear a knock on that door. I was at my parents' house most of the time. And that one little angel, Miss Johnson, would walk through that door. She'd grab that baby. She'd sit in the chair. She'd rock and rock and rock. And she helped me through time that I never thought that I would be able to get through. So again, not just friendships, but sisters, and ask for help. Tammy, I love you and I thank you for that time. So again, you know, no time is too much to ask. You ask for family, you ask for help, because it could not just save, you know, your baby's life, but it could save your life, so you can have more time to be with your child and your children. So I'm so sorry. I never get emotional, but I'm human. So audience, there we go. But no, Miss Johnson, I do respect everything you said, and you're absolutely correct, because it's so easy as a mom. You know, I worry about you because you are like a mom times 10. You know, you work hard, you come home, you do your job, and you know, everyone on this panel, you all are amazing, and you all are phenomenal moms. And you know, I couldn't ask for better ladies to do this interview today. So thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you. Oh, sorry about that, guys. So anyway, now we're getting over to, let's see. All right, so Miss Kiara Clark. Okay, what would you say, like to say to, young mothers or mothers in general that are looking forward to motherhood? I'm sorry, those who aren't mothers yet, but young women that are looking forward to motherhood, marriage, those things.
So I can say this very literally. When it's going to be hard, but whenever you're around your baby, smile. Just smile at your baby. Like smile at them, because no matter what you're going through, it's so important to project positive emotions into your children. So even if you're not, wake up, wake up in the morning before your baby if you can, hop in the shower, take care of yourself. It's a lot to even, just say. It's, because it's overwhelming to be a mom. But if you don't, just like, Tammy was saying, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your child. So get up in the morning, shower, brush your teeth. Don't let the overwhelming emotions, because I feel like after everybody has a child, it's so overwhelming. You have, this body change that you're going through. You have to take care of yourself. You have to do the bare minimum for yourself. And when you look at your child, smile. So even if you're overwhelmed, at least later, go in the bathroom, shed a tear, and then come back and just smile. That's so important. I remember when my son was little, I smiled at him all the time. And when we take him to the doctors, he would smile, and the doctor's like, "Oh my God, you guys must be good parents because your child's always so happy." It's literally just me smiling at my child. And, even though I'm overwhelmed, trying to work, trying to take care of so many things, just being that positive light in your child's life, because when they're so small, you can't let outside things take your positivity away from you, away from your child. You have to kind of be selfless, and that's part of being a mom, being so selfless, and you have to let everything go and just be a positive light for your child. So even an infant, a lot of people feel like when children are so small, they don't understand anything. But no, like they can feel sadness, they can feel anger. So at least if they see you smile, it makes a big difference in developing a healthy mind, a healthy mindset for that child.
Mhm.
So that's just my advice.
I agree. Because a smile could definitely, we know how it is for us as adults if we're having a funky day. I said funky, sorry. I have so sorry, funky day. We, may approach someone, or someone may come down the hall, or, visit us that has a smile. And, it's like that contagious endorphin moment where it's like, it definitely brightens our lives. So I agree with you. I'm sure that definitely brightens your heart when you smile at your little one, and, that you've made a difference in his day. So I agree that, we should definitely try to do that all the time with our children, because, as children, we don't know what they're going through. They don't always express it, and having 5 children, I have 5 different personalities, within my house growing up. Some were more, adventurous, my oldest son was the most adventurous. My oldest daughter was the most logical. My next son was just the fun baby, was like, go with the flow. I just want peace. My third son was more the kid that was like, okay, he's my Gemini baby. It's going to be like this, and we're going to have it like this, and it's going to be done right, and that's just the way it is. And then I have a pumpkin that's 11 years old, and she's just more like, her older sister. She wants to mimic her. She wants to be just like her older sister. She wants to be just like her mom. And she wants to kind of like mirror and put all those personalities into one, so she's the one who has encompassed everything, who says, I know exactly how to do what I need to do because I've watched all of them. So it's definitely makes a difference when we can put those types of another type of happiness into our children. So Muriel, can you tell us, our audience, what you like to say to women that are looking forward to motherhood? And also, I'm going to ask you something a little further. Can you also give your opinion of the process of preparing to be a mom, because you are also a newer mom?
Well, whether you are a younger mother or an older mother, because again, as Tammy stated, I wasn't sure if I'd ever become a mother, and I became one a little later on in life than most of my friends. So, I really don't think there is much of a preparation for having children. There really isn't. But I do have some advice. Um, it's continual learning, and I plugged in earlier that I grew up, well, mainly without a mother. And I was just concerned that I would have no maternal instincts, I didn't know I'd be the great mother, that a natural mother that others has turned out to be, because I just didn't have the maternal home, being raised by my father. And I thought I wouldn't have maternal instincts or the skills to be the great wife and homemaker or whatever, But I have to say, no matter if you're young or if you're older, as a new mother, it's continual learning. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. No one is perfect. All right. And what I don't like to see, for some reason, it tends to be women that tend to bash other women or bash other mothers. We need to come together. They'll look at another kid and it's like, oh, why are they dressed like that? Where's the mother at? Why? If and some mothers, and I'm talking about the mothers that really do care, because there are some that don't. I'm talking about the mothers who may care and they just don't have the ability or the assistance to help. It takes a village. It really takes a village to raise a child. Help that mother out, and seek, as you're a new mother, seek the help out, as Tammy was stating, as Kyria stating, seek another person out to assist you if you have that village, because many people don't have that village. And I right now I'm blessed that I've married into a family. I have a wonderful mother-in-law and wonderful sister-in-law, and a beautiful niece. I have this family now to assist. But I still have it in my heart where I'm afraid to ask. I'm afraid to reach out to anyone because I feel like, as Tammy stated, I should do it on my own. I need to figure this out. Oh, you're only a good mom if you figure this out. Why would you go to someone to ask you to help you? Why would you go to someone to ask you to, just give you a moment of rest, to babysit? It takes a village. Lean on other people at times, because again, as you all stated, you have to take care of yourself, before, and that's how you can pour out more into your family. If you're just barely making it, if you're overwhelmed, if you're about to have a breakdown, how can you give of yourself to others? How can you pour out your love? How can you give any more physical or mental energy to anyone else if you've got nothing left? So reach out. It takes a village. It's continual learning. Give yourself grace. Don't judge the mothers and don't think other mothers are judging you. You've got to be around people that you trust, or seek out people that you trust to assist you. And once you do become a mother, and that's one thing that I'm continuing realizing myself, the worry never ends. It actually just begins. I mean, from the first, when you're carrying a child from first trimester, I was counting down, okay, when I get to this many weeks, I'll be fine. No, it never ends. When you get to this many weeks, and then the baby is born, it's like, oh my goodness, I have to take care of it, another human being, and then it's like, okay, let's get to the first year, then you have to worry about, SIDS, and then it never ends, and I know, Stephanie, I know what you've gone through. I have not been in your situation, but just hearing your story, my heart goes out to you, and I continue to lift you up in prayers, because you have gone through a mother's worst nightmare. You have. And, many women, they just have in their head, what if something happens to my child? And it never, ever ends. And I realize that my child could be 18, 20, 50, and I'm always going to worry. I realize that now. And that's another thing I just want to mention to other women who plan on having a family in the future. But despite all that, it is the greatest blessing in the world. Again, I didn't know if I'll ever have a family. And, I read the Bible. I love the Lord. And, he always talks about the way the mother loves a child. I love you, the way a mother loves a child, and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's nice, but I can't relate. Lord, give me the opportunity to experience this great blessing. And it is the greatest blessing. It is the little things. It's the little things, the smiles, the cuddle, the way they look at you. It's indescribable. That's all I can say. It is indescribable until you experience it for yourself. I just feel so blessed that I'm able to have a child. And carry another one now, worries all over again. We got COVID, all right, I can go into a tangent right now. I'm not going there. I'm not going to go there. But I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to shape and mold the seed that the Lord has given me into a beautiful flower. And yeah, there's power in prayer. And if I go down that route, I'll go down the rabbit hole. But that's all I'm going to say right now. That's my advice to future mothers, young and old.
Amen. I agree. Stephanie, what is your take on this?
Well, my advice is there's a lot of advice out there. I mean, as you know, there's resources, there's books, there's Google, there's Wikipedia. Just stay off of Wikipedia altogether.
Yeah.
My advice is to cling to the people that give the advice from a good place. Because when I was a young mom, I was 21 years old when I had my oldest, and I got a lot of unsolicited, well, shall we say unsolicited advice from people who may or may not have been well-meaning. But it seems like there's always this push or this expectation for women. It's like, when are you gonna settle down? When are you gonna have a baby? When are you gonna have a baby? No baby yet? Then when the baby is cooking, it's, you know, it's incubating in there. Everybody is coming up to feel the baby with or without permission. That is, let me touch the baby. Let me touch the baby that's inside of you. Then it's, oh, you already have a baby. Why are you pregnant with another baby? Oh, this is your third pregnancy. And you're still so young. Aren't there other things you want to do? So having 4 under 4 at one point, we had 4 children under the age of 4. And you get those questions and that advice and those, I guess, well-meaning concerns. And really the best thing that I can say, coming from a place of not trying to harm, not trying to judge, this is your journey. This is your individual, unique journey. So cling to the people that mean you well. And then the rest, you will sort that out. There's no perfection that you have to worry about. There are women that it seems like everything is together. They have their kids matchy, lined up from tallest to smallest. And it just seems like they have everything together, but you don't see after Easter Sunday or after whatever that occasion is, that they had to bribe these kids to get them to come together in peace for a moment. It happens. Nobody's perfect. We don't have a Martha Stewart home. I could show you the mess that's around me. I've formed a box that's safe right now. So it's just do you and know where the good help comes from.
I love it. That is so true, because I'm hiding a box too. Don't tell anybody. I haven't had to kick the puppy out. Okay, this is our time. Now, you know, we've talked about a lot of good things, and, you know, a lot of times in the news, we don't hear positive things about the children that are in foster care and orphanages. And, you know, there are also a lot of people that can't have biological children, or, you know, move through their life through the age where they've stopped being able to, you know, produce or, you know, or to be able to have, you know, children. But there's so many beautiful children in our foster care system. And unfortunately, when they reach the age of 18, it's like, okay, I don't care if you're ready or not, you're out. You know, we've done our 18 years within the U.S. government. We've taken care of you here and there. Now it's time for you to go. And they're still lost. They're not ready to move out into the world because they haven't had the proper nurturing, you know, or the proper guidance or the proper, you know, knowledge of exactly what it's like to move out into the world and have their own families, or what family really feels like other than the confined space that they've been in. You know, what would you say to some of those children that are now adults that may be watching, that would give them some inspiration to know that even though their circumstances were not the best, that as they become mothers, the situation that they went through doesn't have to transfer over as a cyclical cycle. What would you?
I think, and it goes right back to what I stated, it's a learning process. I didn't grow up in a situation where, we had the nuclear family. I didn't grow up in a situation where everything was roses at all. It was a very strict household. And in my opinion, I think most of my friends had it better than I did. And I felt like those individuals, unfortunately, will feel the same way. They probably feel, they might feel a little bit of resentment and maybe some envy towards others that seem to have perfect families themselves. And I go right back to stating that it's a learning experience, and it's continual learning. And what everyone else stated, to lean on the people around them, that if they can befriend or, have a relationship with someone who has that experience, to lean on them. It takes a village. They can't do it on their own, and to not to take out their, I guess, any pent up misery or emotions on their children, as Kiera stated, that just to smile at your children, give them everything that you feel like you haven't had, at least emotionally if you can. So, off the top of my head, that's what I think I would share.
I agree. What are your thoughts, Stephanie?
I would say that don't look at it like you're coming from a place of having less than, because your experiences and how you were raised or how you came up, the people you didn't have, even the wrong examples, you can turn that around in a positive way and say, I've experienced X, Y, and Z. And because of that, I'm going to make sure that I steer clear of X, Y, and Z. And I think a lot of people that actually grow up in nuclear homes, and there's not that cozy feeling necessarily all the time. And I know with my husband and I, we probably had a less than nuclear family raising us, and there were different people coming and going and all this kind of stuff. And it just, you can never, you can, but you can never accept that somebody else's mistakes are going to be your mistakes. You have to look at it from a place like, I can do better and I will do better. And just reach out to people that have those resources. One of the things helping was there was like a Bowie pregnancy center and other places like that where you don't know where to begin. So you got to start somewhere. You just look for local places that teach classes. We did a class that taught us how to swaddle our babies. So we did a swaddling class. We did a nutrition for the mom class. Whatever it is, just try to come from a place of being as prepared as you can be with the experiences that you've got, and use it to empower you, not to belittle yourself or to feel like you're less than, because you might end up being a force. And that's what I'm banking on, that you'll end up being a force.
Wow. And that is so true, because sometimes we're so critical of ourselves as moms. And like you said, sometimes the example can be very positive, and you can be a force, to change someone's life in a very positive way. So I thank you for that. Ms. Johnson, what is your perspective?
Piggyback off everyone else. I think when you come from a situation where you don't have the example that you're looking for, you can create your own example and look and say, okay, you know what? I didn't have this, so I want to ensure my child has what I didn't have. And we're not talking about material things. We're talking about the nurturing. We're talking about the guidance, the love, the concern, the energy that it takes to raise a child. You can look at those things and say, I was missing this, but I will ensure my child has that and more, whatever I am capable of giving. And I think we also have to realize that you don't compare your mothering techniques or skills against someone else. You take what God gives you, your gifts and your talents, and you utilize those, because what God gives you is sufficient. And he'll give you what you need in order to be a successful mother.
And I agree, because you are definitely a successful mother, honey. I'm biased, but you are. Sure. Kara, what is your perspective?
I'm kind of like everyone else was saying. When you look at your life, and if there's anything inadequate, it's hard to say, but you kind of have to look at your life and accept that this is what made me. And if there's anything you don't like, you have the opportunity to change it for your child. There's nothing more empowering, than raising your child and, just being the parent for your child that you wish you had, or if you it or just giving your child what you wish you had growing up. So even, if I have friends like who, like, they didn't have one or both parents, so they kind of just reflect on what they have, and they're so happy that they can do the things that they're doing for their children. And you kind of just have to look at it like that. Like, I'm here for my kids, and I'm going to prevent everything that ever happened to me from happening. But also, don't beat your up. Don't beat yourself up so bad if you're not perfect, because you have to accept that you're a human being. And when you have a kid, it's so overwhelming. When, if you feel like you don't have a parent, it's probably so overwhelming, because you don't know what a parent's supposed to be like. And it's hard for me to even kind of make a comment or express how I would feel or any advice, because I'm not in those shoes. But you just have to kind of, reach out to your resources the best way you can, and just always realize that there are people willing to help you, and there are people out there for you that can help you adjust to being a mom. And when you look at your child, just think about the future and not the past, and don't let the past become you, or any of the negativity that, negative thinking, that may have been from you being resentful of your life, consume you as a parent, because you have a fresh start. A child is a fresh start, and it's a fresh opportunity. So you can just do the best you can.
I agree. I want to share something that Tammy sent me, which is important, but people really don't know or may not know the history of Mother's Day. So Tammy, thank you for sending this to me. I'm going to read this to you all. Tammy sent this to me, and it's very important for us to know the history behind this, and I thank you for your research. Mother's Day is to honor moms for everything they do and everything they are, and do for their families. Mother's Day is celebrated in many parts of the world. In the United States, the modern day celebration was initiated by Anna Jarvis in the early 20th century. It became an official U.S. holiday in 1914 when President Woodrow Wilson signed a proclamation designating the second Sunday in May as a national holiday to honor mothers. Anna Jarvis's vision for Mother's Day was a way of honoring the sacrifices mothers made for their children. She believed a mother is the person who has done more for you than anyone in the world. She conceived Mother's Day as a personal celebration between mothers and families. Anna Jarvis would later denounce the holiday's commercialization. That is the birth of the holiday. Many people don't know that. We know that, the Mother's Day is a day that we've designated, and Father's Day is a day that we've designated, but sometimes we celebrate things in the United States without knowing the history. One thing I can say about my sister friend is that she researches everything. She's definitely a woman of God, and she definitely looks into things. So I appreciate that, Tammy. And this is good, because the thing is that many people don't know. literally until she sent this to me, I thought on what she sent. And for years we say, okay, Mother's Day, we know to celebrate mothers, but just like with Easter and some of the other holidays, do we ever really look back to see what it really is? We generally don't. We just know that we celebrated as a child, so we're going to keep on celebrating it throughout adulthood, so it's not something that we ever look into. So thank you for that, Tammy. Well, as we come to a close, I want to thank each and every one of you for your honesty, for your heartfelt moments, for sharing, the moments in your lives that can move forward and help so many people that, that are watching our show, that needed to hear that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, that needed to hear the perspective that, yes, even though you're a young mom, you can be a phenomenal mom. Even though you're an older woman, God will bless you with what you're supposed to have. He will bless you with your child. He will bless you throughout every facet of your life, even though, there may be a loss in your life. God will bless you to be able to help others through that so they can understand the pain. Even if you've grown up and unfortunately you've lost your mom at a young age, God will also bless you to be able to speak forward through yourself to other women that have done the same thing, that have lost everything that you all have lost, but have come out on the other side through your faith in God and through your perseverance and through not giving up, through not hearing the word no, that you can't move forward from these moments, by not letting the negative things that have happened in your life stop you from living and helping others to live. And for the young mom that is now, or that has spoken with us today, who is embarking on her journey, as a mother, as a wife, and having her family, I thank you for your perspective, because you really give a good voice for those that are in their early 20s, those that, have just started life and they are confused about what the steps are that need to be taken in being a mother. And everyone here on the panel, you have definitely addressed the fact that ask for help. Don't be afraid. Don't feel ashamed. Don't beat yourself up, because being a mom doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It just means you have to be a mom. You have to be understanding. And just because you don't have your children biologically doesn't mean that you're not a mom. So I want to give a salute and tribute to all moms, and I will say moms that don't have biological children but have been a mom to many. All the aunties, all the friends, all the stepmoms, all the girlfriends of boyfriends that have taken care of their children, all the godmothers, etc. Anyone who has taken the time to mentor, to look out for children that may have been misguided, and those with loving hearts that visit orphanages and read books and spend time with children that have been forgotten, because there's so many of our children that have been so forgotten. And for us to know as mothers what it's like to see that, as Muriel mentioned, you may see children on the street that may not have the proper fitting, and and some people, instead of wanting to go help that child or that mother, they'll talk about them. Let's make a change. Being a mom is a privilege. It's a privilege, and you don't have to be a biological mom to do that. But as we look forward and see those that need help, as these young mothers or mothers that may need help with finances, or may need help with clothing, or with advice, or with mentoring, let's open our hearts as moms and women, and let's do something about it. Let's reach out and actually let them know that they're not alone, because it's important. It's important for them to know that, because every child of every generation is a product of the one before, and we can make a change here today. So I want to thank everyone on the panel today, and I want to thank all the ladies, and I have to say this last part, all the ladies that give love as neighborhood moms. When we were growing up, there was always that neighborhood mom, whether it be somebody's auntie or somebody who always looked out. So I want to thank all the neighborhood moms that have given love, over the years, that have always had a watchful eye and, kept a lookout for children. So again, I hope you, audience, you have enjoyed our show. We shared tears, we shared stories, and, we gave you a part of ourselves, because, in doing what we do on a daily basis, we also go through pain, we go through misunderstanding moments, and we know that you do too. So living vicariously through our experiences, we're hoping that we were able to help. So audience, thank you for joining us today. Ladies, thank you all for joining me today on the show, for us to make this a possibility and a success. And I love you all, and happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
All right. And I look
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Stay beautiful, ladies. And I look forward to
Mother's
seeing
Day.
and talking to you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.